Hi everyone, and welcome to I think it's the 53rd Whaleshares Curation Show. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, welcome back. This week we've only got three curators. Linda is heading on a plane back up to the North Pole, where she's from. I think it's also the third show before Christmas, and it's very cold where I am, so I'm wearing 3 pairs of trousers. So the theme is 3 this week, perhaps. Because it's going to be a short show, I might take the mics off, let people chat if you want to. There's a few faces I recognize in here, people who I haven't heard talk before as well. So maybe that can be a thing. Oh, there's Snecking has turned up. But we were going to have a singer as well, but then we weren't. So maybe it's going to happen next week. The Venezuelan chap whose name escapes me, Breeze Cotrin, what's he called again?
Jose.
Yeah, the really talented Spanish guy. Okay, Jose. Well, anyway, he's coming next week, I think. So that's a thing to look forward to. But, oh yes, and I have to tell you all off for something, because each week you're supposed to help me curate new users on the midweek post. And by doing that, you get paid in hair shares. And for a while, people were doing it, but now it's stopped. So I can't give hair shares to new users and keep them coming on the platform unless you're finding them for me. So I would like you all to look out for the midweek post, and if you've got some time, scour the introduce yourself posts, and follow the instructions on my midweek post, and you should get some rewards, and so should they. So that is a thing you can do to get extra whale shares. I think I've got a couple of hundred hair shares each week now to give out. I've been hassling Nepti each week to give me more and more and more, so I should be able to give good rewards. The last few times, I've basically rewarded everybody who put something up there. So the odds are good that you earn something if you do that. Anyway, let's go to the first post for curation. No Linda this week, so we'll jump straight to Cotrin.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I don't know where the mind went, but yeah, let me grab the link. I'll be. Okay, finally I got this. So taking the new request into consideration, I picked the posts. Both of my posts that I picked today, they're from users that have under 2K of stake, and their posts usually don't really quite make it to the trending. When I picked this post up last night, it was sitting at 11 Bell shares, which translates to 66 American cents, so less than $1. And I was like, well, I might as well just pick this one because Christmas is only 15 days away, guys, if you didn't realize, and it's a good occasion to spread some holiday cheer on the show. So this is a recipe, a step-by-step one, which is nice, to preparing gingerbread cookies. I haven't personally made them before, so I might just try the recipe and make those once I get the supplies. But anyways, this person is a YouTuber and he has a channel and it's called, I wrote it down, god damn it. Oh, In the Kitchen with Matt, this is what it's called. But yeah, he shares a lot of recipes and gardening tips, and this is one of his baking videos. So yeah, so it was pretty good, and hopefully that inspires somebody else to get in the kitchen as well.
I like that blue hair on that gingerbread person. It makes me think of Marge Simpson. Yes, this is a very you post, Cotrin, but I like it. This is this person is new to Whaleshares then? You said like really low stake?
This person owns less than 2,000 whale stake. I think it's close to 2,000, but it ain't. And the payout at the time of discovery was 11 whale shares before I quoted it, so that was 66 cents. Like pretty much nothing.
So I should mention to the audience that we've recalibrated slightly on who we reward. That the none of the none of the parameters are absolute, which made it very hard for Curation. He wanted fixed answers on everything. But basically, we are now looking to give rewards to people who've got less Whaleshares or who haven't had much success, just as an idea that it will bring more people in as well. Like, so we might sometimes occasionally reward someone who's an established Whaleshares poster if a post is really, really good or special. But I just should point out that's what we're doing. So I think it's a good thing. Emmanuel, no, we're not well, the hosts are chatting, and at the end of the show we can all chat, so you can chat later. But no. Breeze, thoughts on the gingerbread people? Do you have these in South Africa?
No, we don't really, and I love the festive feel of them. They just look so jolly. I'm certainly going to try them this year. I mean, I think my brother's spawned enough to have little kids around for Christmas this year. So I might as well make something entertaining for them. And this is a lovely post to go by. I love the detailed instructions and everything. I'm not sure that mine would come out as nice as these. But hey, why not give it a try? It's Christmas after all, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
Sure.
I've got another question for you. What is the South African Christmas like? What do you do? Because I guess you've got the old Dutch culture which is a bit like German culture with the tree and everything. Just similar in a way, but you must do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, well, we sit around getting hot. There's no white Christmases in Africa. It's in the middle of, in the peak of our summer, actually. And we just sit around and eat a lot. And we've got a tree and we wait for 12 on Christmas Eve, and then open the presents for the kids and everything. So normally if they're small kids, one of the fattest, oldest member of the family gets to wear a overheating Christmas suit and prance around a little bit, but that's about it. It's pretty boring.
I was thinking a problem with Christmas celebrations for people with some European culture in hot countries is what you're partially celebrating is Yule, which is the old European festival of deep winter. So we've mixed that with Christmas to give it like a Christian flavor, but all of like how you dress and what you eat has still got the Yule flavor. So Australians and South Africans just have to sweat. Well, do you cook a great big turkey or something as well to get the house nice and hot?
Oh, no. We normally do like between 4 and 5 different meats, and then salads with that. And beforehand and afterwards, there's always like snacks on the table, like freshly baked snacks that's coming out of the oven all the time. Like we've got hertogtertjies, which is like a little tartlet with jam and then a coconut meringue kind of topping on it, and little sweet and savory tarts. And yeah, it's just a lot of food.
Okay, so that's a common thing. Yeah, pretty much everywhere has a lot of food on Christmas, don't they? Curation, I know a tiny bit about Russian Christmases, but do you celebrate the sort of European one or the Russian one?
I personally, well, I just follow up with celebrations here in the United States, since everybody is doing something, so that I tag along, so to speak. But in Russia, Ukraine, and other Eastern European countries, they celebrate Orthodox Christmas, and it falls on January 7th. And usually you just get together with your friends or family. Like, it's pretty straightforward, and sometimes children do this thing that's very similar to Halloween, where they do trick or treating, except they don't like trick them into anything. They just like go house to house and sing like Christmas carol songs, and they may get like some money or some candy from people. But yeah, that's about it. And they also make this traditional kind of like porridge sort of meal. It's called kutia, and like it's I forget. I think it's made from wheat, and they add honey and all kinds of like candy in it and nuts, and just like really sweet kind of porridge. It's not like people eat a whole lot of it, but they might take a couple bites. But it's more of a tradition to make that.
Okay. a spice thing that's preserved. So hold on, do you do both then? Because you're based in the States. You must do the December 25th one, but you don't do the other one?
To be honest, no, I don't do anything because there's like it's not a thing here. I mean, I could say like, oh, we should just like have a dinner, but we're gonna have a dinner regardless, you know. So, I don't know. It's weird. I think that Christmas is one of the most boring holidays in the world. I don't like it at all. I love New Year's. It's a lot more fun.
Okay, that's interesting. I like Christmas. I don't like New Year's at all because there's too much pressure to have fun. So you can't have fun. It's absolutely every New Year's Eve is always a letdown because there's so much build up. You just can't live up to the build up. Is how I see it.
I don't know. I can't wait for the New Year's. I think it's just like a crazy time of the year, and then everybody's out, everybody's cheering, everybody's having a good time, like catching up with friends, like going house to house if they feel like it. You know, it's just it's just fun.
I suppose there's more energy in New Year's Eve, isn't there? That could be different.
Well, maybe this is it. Maybe it's energy. Maybe it's just a habit because this is how I grew to know the celebration of the New Year.
Before we move on, Breeze, what do you do for New Year's Eve in South Africa, in Limpopo?
Well, for many years I was working in functions, so I used to organize all the parties that people went through. But I don't know, people just get horribly shit-faced, in all honesty. I don't think there's a better word for it.
I was going to say at some point the Afrikaans culture was going to break through, wasn't it? Into because I know it's a big drinking culture, and you're too far away from each other to go house to house. Otherwise, you get eaten by the wildlife. So you've got to get somewhere, get entrenched, and just drink. I guess is that the case?
You summed that up perfectly. That's pretty much what people do. And normally wherever they are, they just sleep over because of the distance between all the places. So either at someone's house or at a public venue or whatever. But yeah, if you're not inebriated, it's not New Year's, I suppose.
It's amazing as well the idea of having to. Okay, so in the UK, if you get drunk at someone's house, you might stay over, or you might think, "Oh God, I'm just going to walk home just to get home. I want my own bed." And say if it's like 10 miles away or something. But if you're in South Africa, if you did that, you might literally get eaten, mightn't you? If you go out of the compound, you're in the wilderness, you don't know what's there. It's like some sort of computer game on realistic level. If a thing comes that could eat you, like a lion, that's it.
It's not all over South Africa, but in Limpopo, yeah, you've got a good chance of being eaten by something on the way home. In the cities, on the other hand, you have a good chance of not getting home at all. So I suppose you have to take your chances, man.
Yeah, it's a good point. Okay, all right. This was a nice post because of how it looked, how festive it was, and it also got us chatting. But if you approve as well, please feel free to give it some love, and we can move on to Breeze's first post.
Yay, Breeze! Right, I wasn't 100% sure about this person being on Steemit or being on. I know that she's new to Whaleshares, and I can see that she's definitely not getting the earnings that her posts are worth. I chose this post because upcycling is really a wonderful thing, and if you can make something that's really beautiful artistically, even more so. And if you have a look at the post itself, you can see that it was inspired by the iguanas, which she stated she was absolutely petrified by. And she also ended up adding a little bit of a conservation note in there about the iguanas. Their eggs are being harvested for God knows why, but they are. And yeah, and how that all of this inspired her to make the art that she did. And she ended the post off with some of her upcycled metal arts. And looking at the post itself, I just thought the value of the post and the effort that's gone into the post weren't in line at all. And this is definitely someone that I want to support from my side, and I hope that you guys feel the same.
Yeah, for sure. Then I scrolled down to the bottom. I saw that it said 5 WLS, and damn, that is pretty low. And you can tell this person is all about iguanas. I love that photo of the wedding art. So I assume it's in Marriott Hotel, but it's pretty nice view. I love the beach, and like this iguana is probably sitting over there waiting for his bride. For his bride, yeah, I would like to think that it is.
Yeah, it was quite sweet as well. I like the one on the beach where there's a iguana with a little chopped off tail as well. Beautiful. Shame. Just it leaves you imagining what its life journey was and how he got to being at that point at that time. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I like that post. I looked at it and thought, yeah, it's obviously a high quality post. Someone's put some effort in, and it's always a tragedy when these slip through the net, because when that happens, you never know if someone's going to think, oh, I've tried, I'm going to give up now, because that did happen a lot on Steam. You could look back and sometimes see things that were really good, and they got hardly anything. So it's nice to catch ones like this. And I've just scanned through some of her other posts, and they're all pretty much high quality. So I think it's a good selection to pick her, and I'm glad you've picked it. I think it's a lovely choice.
Nick, what do people do with iguana eggs? Do they eat them? What happens? What happens after they get them?
I don't know why you're asking me. It's not my area of expertise. So I would have asked you that, to be honest.
I was just thinking, I'm not sure that I would want to eat an iguana egg at all. Or maybe they're being hatched to be sold, because I know that it's an international commodity, but that would be like probably illegal, selling indigenous animals offshore. I think, because that's a South African law.
Yes, this would be my guess, because you can do all sorts with an egg, which makes it reminds me of something horrible I saw on YouTube a while ago, but I'm going to tell you about it. It was a channel by a Russian guy, and he takes chicken eggs and he injects his own sperm into them to see if he can grow a homunculus, which is like a humanoid kind of creature.
Oh, yes, I saw that. I saw that too.
And it was the most horrific thing. And he does this like a scientist again and again and again in different ways, different eggs, different temperatures, different quality eggs. And sometimes he gets like a thing out that looks like it's alive. And it was the most upsetting. Oh no! And then one of them, this thing's like moving, and it was all like red and bloody, and you think, God, this is just wrong. It's against nature. And then it did something, and he splattered it. And so, what's the thing they say? Shukabliat. What the Russians say is a curse.
Oh, those are bad words.
Okay, well, it's what they all say when they're playing like computer games. Yeah, Shukabliat or something. Anyway, he said that and squashed this thing. But I thought, God, it's not very good. But anyway, that's a tangent. But the point would be that you can do lots with an egg. You know, you can sell them to be hatched. And then people could get like little tame iguanas that they get from young. So I would guess that. Oh, you've seen it as well, Gonzo. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? It's like there's not much for censorship of, but I really wish he would stop putting his own sperm in chicken eggs. It's weird.
I'm just gonna withhold commentary right now. Because I just find it funny what men would like to put their, sperm into. It's just
Well,
it's terrible.
He's doing it's not. There's no. Don't worry, I won't say it anymore. I don't think it's a fetish thing. I think it's more of like he's got a relentless scientific curiosity.
No, I understand. I understood it that way. It's the same. Like, I think you sent me the clip of the cockroach that they put a little microchip thingy on, and then they remote control the cockroach all over the room. That was quite horrid as well.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, I don't approve of being pointlessly cruel to a cockroach, but I've got less concern for a cockroach than I have a half human, half chicken thing that he's like growing in eggs. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop saying it because it's unpleasant. Let's move on to another post. I'll talk amongst yourselves for about 5 seconds. I've just got to get my computer to do something. Okay, so this is far more wholesome. This to me was the perfect selection in terms of the new guidelines, because it was a lovely little post. It's by someone who's not even on Steemit. Not that we've got anything against Steemit, but it's even better to reward people who've just come to Whaleshares fresh from nothing. She'd done a photograph as well. It was an original bit of poetry, quite sweet. You'll have to have a look. I won't read it out, but I thought this was really good. And then I had another idea to go along with this. I believe she's at school. She's 17, and I thought, why are we not? How am I going to phrase this? I don't want to say targeting school children because that sounds sinister. But why are we not asking school children to get their friends involved? Because it's the most dynamic and fluid community. If you're a grown-up and you want another grown-up to join you on some sort of platform, you have to hassle them for ages. Come on, join. Come on, join. I've done it, and I've got some people to join Steemit, and some are more resistant. But kids will do anything. Like, oh yeah, I'll try that. I'll sign up. I'll do it. So this girl who's 17, I thought, why don't we get people like that? Lack of color. You're still at school, aren't you? 17, 18, something like that. The point would be that it would be easy to reward people at that age for getting like 5 or 10 friends on the platform. So maybe that's the thing we could do. But anyway, back to the post. Yeah, I thought it was a sweet little poem. She's done her own photograph as well, which was nice. And her stuff wasn't highly rewarded at all. So yeah, that's why I picked her. Sorry, lack of color. You say school, then, and I thought you meant proper school, not college. Anyway, sorry. Tell me what you think of the post.
I was just busy reading through the poetry, and it's really, yeah, it's delightfully touching. It's quite inspired, and it's real, you know, it's raw and it's real. Nothing too fancy, but definitely a skill that will develop as she grows older, in my opinion. And yeah, definitely original. Something that we ought to be rewarding. And I was also looking, I think in the beginning years of Steemit, I had a concept that I was playing around with for writing competitions within school, and then getting the kids to sign up, and, you know, then maybe taking a certain amount of that and giving it to the school for school improvements or something, you know, especially your less fortunate schools, to help them develop the schools, and also give the children a sense of pride in their language skills and artistic sides. So yeah, I agree with you on that concept.
What?
Did you call me?
Yes. I was wondering what you thought of the post.
First of all, I would like to point out the first photo in the post. I like it. And the peace sign that she is making with her fingers, that's pretty positive. It sends a positive message to me anyways. Like a little light in the end of the tunnel, kind of. That's what I'm thinking after reading the poem, because she's obviously struggling with her looks. And like, for some reason, after reading this poem, I just want to kind of message her and tell her to stop worrying about it, that the things are not as bad as she may think in her head, because like, you know, if she's, well, she looks pretty young, so yeah, there's still a lot to learn about life. And I guess after reading this, it just makes me want to tell her that she is indeed beautiful, and hopefully she shouldn't be worried too much about some dude that has a different woman in his life.
There's a nice little piece I can quote. Just 2 lines from it. She's pretty, I'm not. She's the flower, I'm the pot. That's simple, but it's quite poetic. I like that. That's maybe my favorite bit.
Yeah, I can agree to that. I like that too. But overall, like the poem, like is a bit like negative, and you can tell that this lady, this girl, she's just like, I guess, trying to find a spot for herself, somewhere to fit in, and just has this like struggle, you know. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing, but I kind of wish that I could tell her to stop worrying about it, because it's really not worth it, probably, most likely. But yeah, nice find.
You can do the next best thing, which is to leave her a positive message on the post.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, okay, nice post. Hope you feel that's worth upvoting. Shall we? I think we're at the halfway point, aren't we then? Because there's only 3 of us, and we haven't had Linda droning on. What should we do then? Should we go back to starting again? Because we haven't got anything for that particular for the halfway point, unless it's time for me again to hassle you all to go to my midweek post and put introduce yourself posts that are good on there, and if I select them, they will get the prize and you will get the prize. So please tell me you're going to do that, because that's how we're going to get more people to join. Anyway, okay, Cot, let's go back to your post, and then I might get the Bug and Snacky to talk about their show in a bit.
Okay. This is the post for tonight, and let me go ahead and drop another link to save you and that's a link to the sound where you can listen to the song. So last night, when I was browsing, I stumbled upon this post by this girl, Aida Rojas. She's 20 years old, and she is from Venezuela. Wait, this person cannot be posting anything. Sorry, I had to delete that message real quick, but somebody posted a link to some kind of post. But anyways, when I picked it up, it was sitting at 26 Whaleshares, WLS, and that was mainly because of DJ Little skills, because he gave her a decent upvote. But that amount was, before I voted it, that was $1.56 in American money. So I was like, I'm going to listen to the song and decide if it's worth it picking up or not. And to my surprise, that was an amazing song. So this girl, she's, like already mentioned, she's 20 years old. She's a songwriter and a composer. She's working on her album currently. And she just moved from Caracas to Barquisimeto. I hope I spelled that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But anyways, in her intro post, she said that this was the best decision she has ever made. And that made me smile, because it's good. I like to see people having things going their way and enjoying their life, and especially for somebody that young. So I assume she doesn't live with her parents anymore if this is the decision she made on her own. So the song is called Chris, and that means gray in English. She says that she wrote it back in 2016 or 17, and it was the first song that she made. And for it being the first song, I thought it was pretty good. Well, at the time, if you reverse the time, you would see that she was just a teenager. I did a quick scan through the lyrics. I Google translated them, and this song is, as you can expect, coming from a young girl. It's angsty and it's melancholic, and it's probably based on her personal past. But all in all, it was a good song, and I was happy that I picked it up. I rarely do pick up songs, but it was a good find in my opinion. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna jump into YouTube and grab another song by her so you guys can check it out. It's a bit different while it is recent, but you can see how well she improved herself.
I've just had a quick listen. I can't listen too much, obviously, because I want to hear what you're saying as well. But, Katrin, I've got some homework with regard to this for you. Can you guess what the homework's going to be?
Do I have to be standing up again?
No, not standing up. No. No, you have to try and get her on the show. How about that?
You know, I was thinking about it. I would love her to come and sing for us, especially if you go ahead and click this YouTube link that I shared. Like, you will see she has a very powerful voice, and like she does such a good job like playing acoustic guitar and singing. But she never responded to the original comment that I sent to her. Then I picked the post up. So, like, whenever she does, I will try to reach out to her and maybe look her up, like ask her about her Discord name or something, and maybe she will come and she'll sing for us. I would love her to come.
Okay, maybe you've got to be more resourceful. Just one comment. I'm waiting for her to reply. What about another comment? What about commenting on YouTube? What about commenting in Spanish? These are all things you could do.
Yeah, I will write all these things down and I will do them. How about that?
That sounds good. Oh, Bug, looks like Bug might be able to help with this as well.
Well,
that would be great.
I did see in one of her posts that she participated in an open mic, but I assume that as long as she gets back on Whaleshares and she sees the comments, because I browsed through her comments last time she replied to any of them was like 2 days ago or something. So I assume as soon as she logs back in, like, we will hear from her.
Okay, good stuff. Breeze?
Oh man, I hate it when Katrin does this to me, because you know how much I like new original music, and I can't listen to it while I'm recording. So I'm like just reading the lyrics that I don't understand, and yeah, it's something that I will have to get back to. But with a nice review that Katrin gave it, I'm sure that it will be worth my while.
It is pretty good. Like, I was impressed, even though this is not usually the kind of music that I normally listen to. Well, since I was a teenager, my taste changed quite a bit. But that is really worth your while.
Okay.
Well, thank you for bringing this one up. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to have to listen to it after the show, though, sadly. Poor me.
Oh, well.
Yes, no, it's nice to hear it. So many talented people from Venezuela, I guess because the rewards are so much more for them because their economy is in a state. But yeah, no, lovely to see. Breeze, should we do your next post?
Yes, we can do that. This one is a post from Keith, who is in the audience today, and you know how much I love nature photography as a avid hobby photographer. What do I call myself? A hobby photographer. This one really struck me close to heart. It's some pictures that he took of the great blue heron, which is a lovely bird, especially if you manage to catch them fishing. And it's little heron chicks that got kicked out of the nest. And not only did it just make my heart all happy and fuzzy, it also made me feel a lot better about my hair today. Because they look like they've been having a bad hair day, if you could put it like that. Yeah, Stephen, we're a hobbytographer. That's me. So I chose this post. This is his second official post on Whaleshares. So I think newer than that, if it's not an introduction post, you won't be able to find, and definitely undervalued. He also asked in the post, you know, any guidance, everything is not necessary, is would be appreciated. And, you know, I always say you can't help anyone if they don't want to help themselves. And if someone openly says, well, here I am, point me in the right direction, I don't see any reason for the community not to jump in and help this person grow, and not only grow, but flourish in the posting. So that's some of the reasons why I selected this post. But let me know what you think.
Beautifully clear shots, aren't they? I'm just sort of taking them in, like devouring them with my eyes at the moment.
Yeah, and he's got the Nikon D750, and I played around with one of my friends had one over the weekend, and they're awesome. They've got like a birding app in. If I'm thinking of the same one, Keith, please correct me if I'm wrong. I've got like a birding app in which would automatically zoom in or focus on the bird once it detects its figure. So it's a brilliant camera for people that love bird watching. And yeah, one day when I'm big, I'm going to get me one too.
Well, I like this post a lot. I love the close-ups, especially in the second picture, and how the background is blurred in it. This is really pretty, and the bird is in focus with a little bit of grass. It just like makes me think that I could land on a lawn, just like looking through binoculars or something at this bird. That like these photographs really create this presence feel for me.
Yes, and if you look, like, even if you were lying on the grass, like just staring up blissfully, looking at the birds, hoping that none of them shit on your shoulders, all that jazz, you know, you're still not going to be able to get all that detail captured in one moment. If you look at the eye of the bird itself in the pictures and how beautifully that was captured, and every single feather, you can see all the outlines. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous photography.
I fully agree with that. I'm not that much of an animal photographer. I usually don't take close-ups of birds or any other animals out there other than my cats, but these are very, very nice indeed.
I was struck by something that Keith said in the post, which he's still a little bit lost. He's on his second post. This makes me think of two things. The first thing would be that I'm guessing, Keith, you're of the baby boomer generation. That would be my guess anyway. Yes, yeah. So people of that generation tend to struggle on this kind of initially on social media until and on the blockchain until they get up to speed. Is there a way? Bug will probably know this. Is there a way that we could give boomers a little bit of extra help without being patronising about it, just to get them into, you know, to get them up to speed and to show them how things work, almost like hold their hand for the first couple of weeks, something like that.
Did you want me to respond on voice? Or?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Answer him in song, Bug.
And what?
Answer him in song.
Well, over on You Got Snacked, we're like a big happy family. We really take our time on Snecky's server. That's just there's a lot of time for people here on the Whaleshares server as well, but it's very fast paced sometimes, and it's easy to get lost. And I'm 53, so I might be a little bit more Keith speed, but you know, he can bounce around to different servers that he feels at home. You know, here and You Got Snack, you know, Snacky server. We have a very small group of like 10 or 15 people that are just majorly helpful. They help people with formatting. Sometimes I pay people out of my own pocket to do formatting for other people. Just depends, because I want them to succeed. You know, I think we've talked about that, Nick. I think you get that sense about me. I'm not here just for myself.
Yes, for sure. Well, before I say the other thing, piece of advice for Keith to get deep into this, and it seems like he's got some experience on Steam as well, so that's good. But just generally, to help people out, maybe bringing people onto your show would be a good thing, because probably the most useful thing you can do is become part of a community. And I'm thinking more and more that whereas the Steemit experience was post on Steemit and that's it, I think that's going to be very much in the past. And I do see Whaleshares evolving as something that, like, the blockchain is the almost like the back end of lots of interactive projects, and that will be where you're rewarded, and that's where, like, the engine of everything works. But I see a lot more stuff likely to go on top of that, if that makes sense. Anyone agree with that? Disagree? Comments on that?
I agree with you pretty strongly on that, actually, Nick. And also, don't forget to you know, I'm assuming Keith can hear us. When Nick says getting into communities, that's a lot of people seem to parrot that, but no one really seems to take it seriously. When you really dig into a community and you get to know people in a genuine way, you know, that's what's going to make Snecky and I kind of look at his work and his involvement and say, maybe we want to feature him on our In-Focused Artist of the Week. And he'll be, you know, number 1, 2 trending for several days. And that'll get him a lot of exposure. Those things don't happen overnight, and they don't happen by accident. Those are very well taken decisions by us for people that we think are really, they have their heart and soul in the platform.
Okay, so good thing to do now, very briefly, is just give a holistic sort of roundup of your show, which comes a little bit later today.
Yeah, Snecky's going to talk about that right now.
Man, I'm getting the invite link. 1 second.
She loves being put on the spot. It's just a straight curation show. Bring a link, come and hang out. Sometimes we, you know, give away a bunch of money. Sometimes we don't. Just depends. We don't want people just coming for rewards. And yeah, it's going to be a really good time.
Yeah, and we use secret buttons as well, or at least Buck uses those buttons. They're really cool.
You're just like trying to bait Breeze now. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. I want Breeze. She knows I want her.
You're gonna have to fight Linda for her.
I will fight Linda too, but Linda is not here to defend, so I will wait till next week.
Okay.
Well, anyway, for anyone else who's new or will listen to this afterwards, or who will scroll through, there's always shows going on, and you can always join shows, and you're, I wouldn't say guaranteed, but you're very, very likely to get a bit of extra attention, to meet people, to get some upvotes, just to make connections. So these are the things to do. The one other thing I'd talk about, Keith, is to use the tabs, because there were a lot of competitions on Steemit for photography, I would guess. But one of the features of Whaleshares at the moment is it's absolutely replete with different projects going on. So if you click on the photography tab on the left and scroll through, I'd say, what do you think, like a third or half of the stuff is somehow linked to like upvote projects and things like that, curation projects. So there's all sorts of things to go on, and those can function as like hand-holding or guidance platforms initially, you know, to tell you what to do when it's all a bit sort of open-ended and you're not sure exactly what to do. But anyway, that was my advice. But I very much enjoyed your post, and those were beautifully clear pictures. So I think we've got one more post left. Oh, and bear in mind, everybody, at the end, you will get free stuff from Krista if you stay to the end and answer my question. Oh, hey, Akri, I did not see you there.
Hey,
right,
I'm
just
on my way out.
Okay, well, nice to see you anyway. I'm just gonna sort out my my link. Computer's slow today for some reason. So this was a post that I hadn't seen before. River Flowing. Didn't know if anyone knows her. She looked newish to me. She wasn't getting huge rewards. And I thought, oh, Music Monday. Is that her GIF? I don't know. Has she done that herself? But anyway, it was just somebody talking about their life a bit, blog posting a bit, and putting some songs up. And I listened to some of the songs and thought, oh wow, what a nice post. So yeah, a solid blog post. So feel free to take a look.
I'm browsing through it right now. I love River Flow, and I know her from Steemit. It's one of the people I follow on both platforms, and she always puts up together really good quality posts. She does a lot of gardening and vegan recipes. So I think she lives in Australia. But yeah, it's cool that you picked her up. She is pretty new to Whaleshares, and she could use all the support we can provide.
I'm just busy looking at all the songs that I can't listen to right now again. Thank you, Nick. But yes, a wonderful post, very well put together. There's the Afrikaans coming through now. And loving the GIF at the end as well. It's beautiful. I think it's very personal. It's a very personalized post, and it kind of helps you. I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, when you read a post, it's not personal until you actually can associate with the person. I don't know how to vocalize that, but it's always nice to see the person behind the name, and seeing a personalized post also aids in that. So I'm gonna go ahead and support this post for sure.
Okay, good stuff. That's all our posts. That's pretty much on the hour. We went a lot quicker without Linda, but it was a little bit quieter as well. So we miss her in a way, but she'll be getting on a plane soon to a weird wonderful place in the North Pole she's from. And she'll be back next week, I'm sure. But okay, now it's time to get some free stuff. So what I need you to do, if you want free Crazy Coin Up shares, would be to have a BitShares address. I'm sure most of you have got that. If you don't have that or don't know what it is, tell me in chat and someone will explain to you what a BitShares address is and how to get one. Then you need to send a message to Crazy Krista. I don't know where she is at the moment. I know Monday is her washing day. So who knows what she's doing at the moment, but you need to right click on her name, which you should be able to find if you scroll up enough, and send her a message with your BitShares address. What question would you need to answer? Reese, any thoughts on the question?
On what?
To ask Krista.
I didn't really think about it. I usually just keep on listening what you come up with or somebody else comes up with. But I think you can ask her when's the dinner.
When's the dinner?
Yep.
That's exactly the same. She'll have to answer them, won't she? No, why don't we ask... no, why don't you tell Krista what the weather's like where you are, so then we know you're not a bot. And send her your BitShares address, and she will send you back some Crazy Coin outputs. So that should be easy to do. Does anyone not understand how to do that? And if you don't understand, then someone who's going to help you. Yeah, questions like that just make her cross, Mendel Sage. The weather's easier, trust me. You have to gauge Krista's mood before you ask her certain questions. But anyway, I think that's it. So that's the end of the show. We can take the mics off. We can all talk now. It was short and sweet because we were a reduced number. I hope you enjoyed it. And prepare for another show in an hour and a bit, hour and a half with Bug and Snacky.